That's My Baby from their new album Echo. And here's Daniel Dafreez Johnston, all the way from Amsterdam, to tell us how the trio constantly tries to redefine what My Baby is. But first, we hear about their time at Glastonbury.
Well, we saw, Neil Young was the headliner that we saw on that night.
So I've noticed that there's been mixed reviews on that. I'm a big Neil Young fan. What was your take on his set?
He got quite favorable reviews, I think, on his Glastonbury set, and we missed the beginning because we had to walk an enormous way across the Glastonbury paddock.
Yeah,
but we saw probably the second half of his set, and I was quite impressed. I mean, it was really rock and roll. It was
I saw the set list. It looked good.
And he played long solos, and it was just like a throwback to 1970 almost.
There you go.
I enjoyed it.
Yep,
I enjoyed it.
And anything else catch your ear while you were there?
We saw a Dushi, who played a very impressive set.
Yep.
Very theatrical, but I hadn't really seen a lot of her, or I know a couple of her tracks that became very popular.
Yeah.
Beth Gibbons.
Oh, nice.
And a host of some more unknown stuff. There's so much stuff to see there. It's incredible.
Imagine. Yeah, it's got to be pretty cool. Very good. All righty. And you guys did a bunch of other European shows and festivals since you were here in Auckland, right?
Yeah. We've obviously it's been a bit quiet for us the last couple of years here in Europe, but obviously we're working on the album.
Yeah.
But this summer's been interesting. We've been to Eastern Europe and done some festivals there, in the Balkan especially, and there's a number of festivals in the Netherlands.
Right.
And we've got a huge tour coming up in Europe. This is the release tour from September on. So we're doing about 40 odd shows almost. So that's a lot coming up.
So the record is called Echo, and I heard quite a bit of it live when you guys were here at the Double Whammy place. So that was cool. But where did the record start? When did it start becoming a thing for you guys?
Yeah, we spent the best part of a year in our own studio, just cutting demos and just trying to redefine what My Baby is in terms of sound, in terms of direction, in terms of the stories we wanted to tell.
Yep.
So, because we always just try and reinvent ourselves with every album, which is kind of a challenge.
I'm sure.
So I think we tried looking back at our first albums and try to regain some of that sound,
right?
And just try and add something new to that rather than completely reinvent ourselves. So I think we sort of did that. We got back to some blues and funk and soul.
Yep.
And just, the psychedelic trance element is there. So I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the people that have heard it. They've said, "Oh, this is you guys. This is this is your sound," and people have been pretty enthusiastic about it. So
because you have a track called "Are You for Real," which I think you played here, and it's got some pretty bluesy guitar in there. Maybe you can tell me a little how that came together.
Yeah, well, Joost does a lot of our producing, our drummer, and he produced this. Yeah, it's a sort of moody, soulful track with some drum and bass elements even, and that's our process in the studio. He'd make a rhythm track, and I'll just freestyle some riffs on that, and I just grab this old, pre-war guitar. I've got an old pre-war Regal.
Oh yeah.
And I just started playing some acoustic slide on that, and basically, I mean that first riff or collection of riffs we just kept, So it was the first takes, and that's how a lot of our work in the studio is done. We keep a lot of the stuff that's on the demos because they sound fresh, even if
Yep.
they technically don't sound very good.
Sure.
As soon as you redo it and try and do it too clean,
It's
the
never the
vibe's
same.
gone. So we kept that, and yeah, it's a very experimental track, really. I mean, it's not a lot of vocals, not a lot of lyrics.
Right.
It was more about the vibe and about this, just creating this world and interesting combinations.
Right.
Which is also on my baby thing. We try to look for combinations that haven't been done before. So and that track is probably a good example of that.
Cool. And speaking of doing things that haven't been done before, as a guitar player, is it tough to find a riff that hasn't been written? I mean, let's face it, there's been an awful lot of riffing going on over the last 70 or 80 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's I suppose that's why I end up using a lot of effects. I mean, I'm a blues player at heart, so
Right.
I play a lot of blues riffs, which blues playing is all about, basically using the same riff and
Yep.
just tweaking it a little bit, because, like in a 12-bar blues that's been done by thousands of different blues musicians, but it's more about performance, how you
Sure.
perform, what makes
Yeah.
it special, not the composition of the riff.
Right. Gotcha.
So, and for me, it's, I use a lot of delays. And I basically play your normal stock blues riffs, as it were, and tweak it a little bit. And a lot of what we do in the studio is sampling those riffs. So we take little bits, turn them around, or just productionally try and create a riff, which, creates a different angle, something that you wouldn't think of, if you have to play it straight.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, that sounds like maybe you did that with Queen's Lament, because it sounds like a little ZZ Top thing, a little range going on there. But
now blooms the lily by the bank, the primrose down the brae, the hawthorns budding in the glen, the milk white in the sleigh. The meanest hind in fair Scotland may rove the sweets among, but I, the queen of all Scotland, lies in prison strong.
Yeah, that was another experimental track, which was all just one take. Everything was
Really?
we would just add layers, and just it'll be one take. And I believe I did some sort of poem on there, which was just an experiment, and we ended up just keeping it.
and who's singing that?
That's me. Yeah,
That is you. Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
and that was just off the cuff, just experimenting. It was something I found him. What's his name? Can't think of him now. A Scottish poet songwriter from the 1800s.
George Burns? No.
Robbie Burns. Robert Burns.
Robbie Burns. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
Robert
was close.
Yeah. Exactly.
George Burns, a comedian.
Thank
but
you.
there you go.
Sometimes these names disappear.
I can't believe I even got that close. So
Yeah.
I consider it a success.
I just stumbled across this in a book, because we've done Mad Mountain Time before as one of our songs, which is based
Yep.
on one of his old lyrics. But this happened to be the right meter, and I just had this melody, and I found the meter, which sort of made, it sort of stuck. And it was basically just a little tryout, so that Kato would later on be able to sing it properly with the melody.
Uh-huh.
And she said, well, actually, I like it better if you do it. And we just kept the demo.
Nice.
So
nice.
that's how that eventuated.
Cool. And it's preceded on the album by Smiley Virus, which got to ask you about that. So, what's going on?
Yeah, that
there?
was titles. Yeah, you guys came in with that title, and a bit of a tongue-in-cheek. Sometimes you don't have a working title, and this was
Sure.
the working title that we also just kept. We didn't.
Yep.
It just. It's a vibe song.
Once with all the fussing, fighting, there are forces trying to divide us.
outlook, uplifting vibe, and yeah, it's definitely one of the tracks that we envisioned would be cool to play live and just lift up the energy in the crowd.
Yep, yep,
And
yep.
yeah,
So how important is that how important is the crowd to your show as far as making things happen?
yeah, massive.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's there's no show without the crowd, really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's you need and you need that interaction. That's the most important thing to yeah. I mean, we used to improvise a lot, and we do a little bit less now. But when we used to improvise, I mean, the crowd interaction would literally change the way we'd play
Right.
or play the song. We in terms of tempo and everything really. So yeah, it's a huge part of well, for any musician, you're
Uh-huh.
going to feel that energy.
Yep.
But for us, definitely we definitely try and build our set as well to get that crowd on board and to be open to that energy as well to that you can vibe off and take a certain direction. Yeah,
Gotcha.
for
Yeah.
sure.
And of course, the three of you have been playing together for a long time now. Has the dynamic changed at all? Is it still the same as it started, or how has it
Um,
evolved?
it evolves in part, but yeah, because you're in it so much, you can't always tell if
Right.
how much you change, but you know, it's always a challenge going into the studio together and knowing each other's strengths, each other's weaknesses,
Yep.
and sometimes because you know each other so well, you focus on each other's weaknesses and annoy
Sure.
the hell out of each other.
Yep.
So it gets a bit of a challenge, but in a way, in the end, you also get rid of the annoyance and find, your the inspiring moments that you can lock into, and it's kind of, it can be kind of tough if you've been working together for 10. Actually, we've been working together for 20 years,
Right.
and to keep it fresh and reinvent yourself all the time can be a challenge. But yeah, there's something about the three of us, the energy, especially when we play live.
Yeah.
Okay, we've still got something here,
Yeah.
and that inspires you to keep going and to keep going and making more music
Cool. Cool.
and getting it out there.
Do you listen to much new music? Where do you find stuff to kind of turn yourself streaming,
Yeah, I mean,
YouTube? I don't know.
we try not to let our music be inspired by other contemporary artists too much.
Right.
We try to, but obviously that does happen. I mean, I remember Kotoa Yost came in with the new album by Jungle,
Oh yeah.
which we thought was amazing. It was just the sound of it, and it has this old Motown feel,
Sure.
but it's completely new as well. And we thought, that's kind of interesting. That's something that we would have liked to have done.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you do sort of get turned on by certain
Yeah.
albums and artists.
Yeah.
For
Because there's nothing wrong
instance,
with that. I mean, if you think back to you read about the Beatles and the Beach Boys and the Stones were all listening to each other and kind of playing off.
mm,
They'd get inspired by somebody that something did in the studio and take it from there. And
yeah,
there was a lot of
I
things that
mean that's
wouldn't have
yeah
happened
exactly.
without that.
No, you can't really help be influenced by stuff that catches your ear
Yeah.
and turns you on. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And you guys, I see. I think the next show you're doing is the Istanbul Jazz Festival, which, you know, uh, because of what you do and the different types of music, you can pretty much play anywhere. It could be a jazz, it could be rock, it could be funk, it could be whatever. Uh, Does that was that the plan all along to kind of have this broad scope of stuff?
Certainly wasn't the plan all along. No,
Was
but
there a plan?
when we made our first record, there was no plan.
uh,
We weren't even a band when we made the record, so it all just sort of eventuated and evolved. But it definitely has definitely served us well, being able to play. We could play a trance festival and the next day play a blues festival, and indeed now Istanbul Jazz. We don't know what to expect yet, but
yeah.
Yeah, and we used to play a lot of different sets, and we probably might need to do that a little bit here as well, maybe just to
Yep.
change things up a bit. And but yeah, it's nice, being that varied in your material, and yeah, obviously you don't want to completely change the set. You want to have your body
Yeah.
of work, especially
Sure.
the new album,
Yep.
up front.
Yep.
But yeah, we can tweak and twist and maybe do slightly longer solos at a jazz festival. I don't
There you
know.
go. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. And of course, you being
yeah.
the Kiwi in the band, do you pay much attention to the New Zealand music scene, such as it is?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've been in Amsterdam for 20 years, but I've always kept tabs on what's going on in New Zealand, and a lot of music, and there's a lot of great music coming out of New Zealand all the time, and so that's definitely been yeah, that's also something we take inspiration from as well. So, and when we are in New Zealand, we meet so many Kiwi musicians that that we've kept in touch with, and
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah, I'm going to see
yeah.
Delaney Davidson tomorrow, and I'm just thinking out loud. He's like, "Oh, that would be a great double bill with you and Delaney." Do you know him at all?
Oh, Delaney, yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't know him personally, but obviously I've heard so much about him. I've never seen him live, and
Huh?
I saw the tour poster on social media somewhere. Oh wow, okay, that's
Yep.
cool. And so I don't think I'll be able to catch one of those
Yeah.
shows because
But he's been
yeah,
like you guys. He's been around for a while. I bring people together.
yeah,
It'd be
yeah.
fun to hear. Yeah. All
Mhm.
righty. Very good. Well, I'll let you go and get ready for your big release day tomorrow. I assume it'll be a little while since you were just here in February before you return to New Zealand, but it was a good show, so
Yeah,
it'll hold us.
yeah. We'll be back in the NZ summer. I mean, it's a bit too early for show
Yeah,
dates yet, but
you don't want to be.
we'll definitely do some release shows and hopefully some festivals, and yeah, looking forward to it.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.